Hey guys, what's up? So in the last video, I pretty much got the whole axle prepped, ready to go in the truck. And then I didn't, of course, record an intro because again, I wasn't thinking that far ahead as far as these videos go. And I'm just recording this now to explain what we're gonna go into here. So the next video is gonna be me actually putting the axle in. The bed's already on the truck, so I just pretty much had to jack the truck up, pull the old axle out, cut the U-bolts off of that because they were on there pretty hard. And then had some custom U-bolts made, put those in, clamp the new rear end in, and then I'll add some more voiceover to this video if need be. I can't remember everything I explained in the footage, but here we go. It's been a little bit of time since the last time I made some footage, but just continuing on. Got some stuff in the back of the LBT. Don't mind the mess. We're just kind of gutting a couple things out of this house before we start construction and don't have a dumpster yet. Waiting on that, but I'm gonna try to use this engine jack. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough reach to reach over and get this axle at the back of the truck so I can start trying to get it under the truck. Gotta clean all this mess up in here. It doesn't fit in my garage, obviously. But one advantage I got right now is the concrete floor is right where it needs to be for the frame. It gets me the frame a little bit closer to the ground so I can jack it up easier. And then out here, I'll just have all kinds of free room to roll around in the dirt to work on it. But yeah, there we are. I might start some time-lapse video of this process of me trying to get this axle out just in case it goes bad or good. I guess I'll post it, so. Still trying to learn where to look at the camera on this because I keep looking at the screen and that's not the camera. But as you can see, it worked. Wasn't easy, that's for sure. It'd be a lot easier when I have a shop. But yeah, so I'm gonna start getting things kind of cleaned up. See what I got for time with daylight. And maybe start working on disassembling the axle that's in there. I'm gonna take the brake lines off. I gotta take the U-joint out. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna cut the U-bolts, I think, at least on one side, and start to lift it. Because I don't want to lift it and have all that axle weight as a negative weight on the leaf springs. Cut the axle off, cut the U-bolts off, and all of a sudden have the axle drop and I'm like too high and it'd be annoying to work with. So I want to get the axle free from the U-bolt, from the leaf springs, and start to lift it off so it's about an inch off or maybe more. These are the same size tires that are on it, so hopefully it'll just slide. The axle's a ½ inch bigger, but I mean that only adds up to a ¼ inch. So yeah, I'm gonna either get started on this or pick up the video on a later day. So the sawzall was a bust. The blade couldn't keep up. Kind of figured that would happen. Kind of unbelievable, but the Milwaukee ½ inch impact took it off. It was not easy. Had to go back and forth quite a few times. It's still pretty hot, actually, even up here. I don't know if that'll focus, but it's unbelievably hard to get that off there. All right, so it's no easy task, but old axle is out. Don't ever do this at home. It's not safe at all. Kind of wish I wasn't doing it like this, but it's whatever. Didn't really get any footage of that because there's no way that I could do that and get footage. So it's time to try and get that under there. The problem I ran into is I can't get the back high enough safely to leave the tires on it and just roll it under. So yeah, I gotta find a way around that. So not been an easy process. Again, I've been filming the, I had to drag the axle under without the wheels on, jack it up with the wheels on. Right now I'm just trying to line everything up. And so that's kind of how it's going. I don't think it's gonna be drivable tonight, but not gonna be very far off either. Just gotta get everything lined up on this side too. Just like that, it's sitting on its own weight. I gotta get a grinder and cut those off. Couldn't get them off with the impact, but it is on its own weight. I gotta touch everything up. I guess I'm saying but I've got to get 2-inch spacers. Well, I don't need 2 inch, I only need like 3/4 of an inch, but you can't really do that on a hub-centric setup in order to run my tires, because they are a little bit too wide and they rub. But it is sitting on its own weight. Just like that. Now I got to hook up the drive shaft, replumb the back brakes from the splitter to the drums. Got my axle shafts in, seal it all up. I'm probably gonna jack it up and test, because obviously these hubs are not where they need to be. Adjust the hub and pull the diff cover, change the fluid, get some more oil on these leaf springs. I mean, everything else looks pretty good, so that's good to keep everything oiled and go for a ride. So that was kind of a close call. I ended up, I didn't even think of it. I kind of thought of it, but not really. I was like, oh, it's not going to be different. But obviously, when you get that Dana 70 HD rear end, the pinion side's going to be a lot longer than the regular smaller rear end. And I figured I had enough on my slip yoke that'd be the same. But when I bought the axle, the guy was like, hey, do you want these drive shafts? He's like, I'll throw them in for free. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll take them. I don't need them, but whatever, I'll take them. So this is my drive shaft. This is out of the donor truck. You can see them lined up here. I lucked out on that one, big time. I'm just gonna put new U-joints in it. Throw it under there and call it a day. So this is without the spacer. Obviously it's kind of jacked up in the air a little bit. This is how far in they were. That's a factory steel wheel from a 2008 Duramax. So that's what it looks like on this as far as offset. And then with the hub-centric spacer, that's what we're at right here. This looks overall a lot better. Tires look a little bit bigger, just better in general. So still plenty of content left in this truck. Just a lot of stuff going on at the house and all that good jazz. So content might be a little bit slow. As you guys can tell, the footage is kind of all over the place. I didn't even film my first time driving it or it kind of complete out in the daylight yet, because I literally finished. I got the axle under it, got everything tightened down, figured out my wheel situation. I'll go into that in a different video. And I plumbed the brake lines and everything the day before my wedding, and literally drove it onto the trailer behind my Duramax and then hauled it up to the wedding. Went for a quick test drive up there and then drove it away from my wedding right after. So yeah, didn't really have a whole lot of time for filming the end part of that, but everything did go together very well. I was very happy with how everything turned out. I still have plenty more work to do to the truck. I'm gonna just decide if I want to 4-wheel drive swap it or if I want to leave it 2-wheel drive. Either way, I'm gonna be putting in some sort of power plant that's gonna make a lot more power. Hopefully an LBZ if I can find one for a reasonable price, and I will keep getting more content on this. Let me know if you guys have any ideas or anything else you'd like to see.